Well, we're here at Monte Carlo, EPT Monte Carlo, and I'm honoured to be joined by Chris Eubank, who's enjoying some well-deserved time off after winning the fight of the year against Conor Benn. Chris, welcome. How are you enjoying Monte Carlo and the EPT?
I'm happy to be here. It's a beautiful environment, beautiful day. It's my first time in Monte Carlo, actually. What a place to be. And I'm excited to get down and dirty with these poker players later on. I'm itching to play.
Well, we are here thanks to PokerStars, and we know how much you love the game of poker. Can we expect to see you play in more PokerStars events at more EPT stops in the future?
Absolutely. You know, PokerStars do it better than everybody in terms of the events and the content. I believe I'll be playing on stream today with a few other players, and I'm going to be putting these guys to the test.
But yeah, speaking of the stream, you're jumping into a really fun lineup later tonight. You're going to be battling Spraggy, Rory, Adam, the rest of the boys. Who are you most looking forward to getting into the mix with?
No one in particular. I just want to make sure I bluff each and every one of them as much as I can.
Chris, the boxing world is eager to see what's next for you. If it's not the rematch with Conor Benn, there's long been talk about a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Outside of the ring, we know Canelo has a poker room in his house and plays 3 times a week. Do you fancy yourself to get the better of him, not just on in the ring, but also on the felt as well?
The first time I met him, we were actually talking about poker because I've played with a few of his friends in Vegas. It was me, Canelo, and Turkey El Sheikh. We all took a picture together. I said, hey, listen, after we fight, let's play a couple games of poker. He said, yeah, that'll be fun. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's a massive fight that the fans have been, interested in seeing for a number of years now. So we're going to try everything in our power to make that fight happen within the next 12 months.
Speaking of poker and some of the high-profile games you played in last year, some of the biggest that were viewed around the world last year, there was one at World Series of Poker with Neymar and Alan Keating, and of course the super wild one in LA where Neymar became the flip god after running that river like 7 or 8 times with Alan Keating. Talk me through what it was like to be involved with that game and getting to watch that spectacle and be involved with one of the craziest games that poker's seen in a good few years.
It's funny because as crazy as that game looked to you guys, that game was mild. I'm telling you, it was mild compared to what goes on when the cameras are off. When the cameras are off and people are drinking and not worrying about how their play looks, it's barbaric, the things that you will see in these cash games with Neymar and Bilzerian and Alan Keating. These are the games that I love. I'm a part of that world, and it's a blessing and a privilege to be in those circles. But it was an amazing game in LA. We flew over on Bilzerian's private jet. I think that moment where, Alan was flipping with Neymar, I've never hugged another man, really. And I was watching it, and I had to just go up to him and just put my arms around him, like, bro, come on, man, you gotta calm down with it. But he was too far gone. He was too in it. He was hell bent on it, just winning one, and he ended up flipping his whole stack off. He's just showing off for the cameras. No, he does this stuff all the time, regardless of the cameras. He wasn't advertising, which is why I love Alan. He's an incredible player, an incredible character in the poker world. And to play with these guys regularly is a lot of fun.
Do you know if there's any plans for a repeat of last year and coming up in this summer? Obviously, we're approaching the World Series. I'm sure people would love to see another one of those super high-profile games, maybe see you hopping into a 25K or a 50K buy-in. Are there any kind of plans for that this year?
Usually I don't like playing on TV, to be completely honest. It affects how you play sometimes,
Okay.
You kind of like, I don't want to make a mistake here, I don't want to do that. I like to just be free, but I've gotten used to it over the years. I've done a couple. I will be in Vegas for the World Series because the cash games around that are incredible. I lost a hell of a lot of money last year during the World Series. It was the first time I experienced what they call a downswing. I didn't even know it was a real thing. I was like, come on, Al, a downswing, what is that? No, you're just playing bad. But no, I lost every day for like 8 weeks. I lost a horrible amount of money. But that's what poker is. You've got to be able to, take the wins with the losses. You can't win all the time. You can't be that guy. Sometimes you just got to, you got to play the hand you dealt, and then what happens will happen. So I'll be out in Vegas for that. And if there's any great streams like there were last time, then I'm sure we'll make some fun content again.
Your relationship with Neymar Jr. was brought up by Conor Benn in the build-up to your previous fight. He made some strong accusations about supposed debts. Is there anything you'd like to say yourself to set the record straight?
No, I never discuss my poker losses or debts with other players. Me and Neymar have a long history, and we have a great relationship. And yeah, that's between me and him. But there are no issues. Everything is always sorted out. Everything is always 100%. I'm looking forward to playing with him again very soon.
One of the moments of the big spectacle fight this year, probably the moment of the year for me, was seeing you emerge alongside your father as you emerged to come out to the ring for your last fight. Have you ever tried to convince your dad to take a seat alongside you at the felt? Do you think it's something that Eubank Sr would excel in?
My old man wears his heart on his sleeve, as I'm sure most of you have seen over the last few weeks and months. I think he would be an abysmal poker player. You have to be able to deceive and bluff and get into the minds of people and not lie, but because it's not lying, it's a part of the game. But you've got to act weak when you've got a strong hand, and you've got to speech, and you've got to, you've got to do all these things that my father, that's not his character. He's a very open and honest person. Not to say that you can't be open and honest in poker, because absolutely you can, but there are elements to the game that sometimes you have to be a bit sneaky.
Yeah.
And he's not a sneaky guy. So I don't think that he would be very good at poker. But I would love to play with him one day. I'd love to sit down and teach him. So we'll see what happens.
Wonderful, Chris. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of EPT Monte Carlo, and we'll see you later on tonight.
Okay, thank you.